Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. RHOBH's Dorit and PK Kemsley meet up for dinner amid divorce. Are the tides finally turning in Dorit Kemsley and PK Kemsley's relationship? The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star filed for divorce from her husband, PK, several months ago, and their split was anything but amicable. However, things may be looking up. Dorit and PK were recently spotted out for dinner together, and shockingly, it was going well between them. Season 14 of RHOBH kicked off with a major bombshell when Dorit announced she and PK had separated. The Bubbas were no more. Still, Dorit had hoped they could turn things around. But that was officially squashed when PK was snapped making out with Shauna Wall, another reality TV star. The next day, Dorit decided to pull the plug and file for divorce. That kiss might have sealed their fate. Since then, things haven't been pleasant. There's their ongoing custody battle, and when the two were at their son's baseball game, they were sitting completely apart from one another. Still, the tides might be turning. Tims reported that Dorit and PK were spotted out for dinner together in Sherman Oaks at a Japanese restaurant, making this their first dinner out since the divorce filing. I'm sure it was awkward, to say the least. However, witnesses claimed things were fine between them. Apparently, the two looked relaxed and were in good spirits. It was also noted that this was not filmed for the cameras, which means it wasn't just for show. In fact, Tians also reported that PK hasn't filmed at all with Dorit for the upcoming season of RHOBH. Although I'm sure Dorit is spilling all the tea about their divorce in her confessionals for season 15. Regardless, let's hope this dinner brings them one step closer to settling their differences once and for all. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is streaming on Peacock and Hayu in the UK and Ireland. When it comes to the world of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, drama doesn't stop when the cameras go down. And lately, the spotlight has been burning especially bright on Dorit and Paul PK Kemsley. For years, viewers have watched the stylish pair navigate lavish parties, extravagant vacations, and the pressures of Beverly Hills society, all while maintaining a marriage that often appeared as glamorously unshakable as Dorit's couture wardrobe. But behind the carefully curated Instagram posts and witty one-liners, whispers of trouble have been growing louder. So when Dorit and PK were spotted stepping into a chic Beverly Hills restaurant for a quiet dinner together, it sent the rumor mill into overdrive. Was this a reconciliation, a farewell meal, or simply two co-parents trying to find middle ground? The arrival, on a warm summer evening, Dorit arrived first. She stepped out of a sleek black car, her heels clicking against the pavement with the kind of confidence that only a Beverly Hills housewife could carry. Her outfit was, of course, the kind of look that turned heads, a mix of tailored sophistication and daring fashion risk. Despite her polished exterior, those who looked closely might have noticed the way she hesitated just slightly at the restaurant door. Over plates of truffle pasta and roasted fish, the talk began to flow more easily. They spoke about their children first, the one subject that always brought them back to common ground. Dorit's eyes softened when she described the kids' latest school projects, while PK leaned in, asking questions with genuine curiosity. From there, the conversation meandered into safer territory: mutual friends, upcoming charity events, even a playful jab from Dorit about PK's ever-rotating business ventures. For a moment, it almost felt like old times, like the banter fans had adored on the show. But eventually, the elephant in the room couldn't be ignored. "People are talking," PK said at last, his voice low. "They think we're done. That this dinner is some final bow." Dorit exhaled softly, her eyes meeting his across the candlelit table. "And what do you think, PK? Are we?" It wasn't an accusation, nor a plea. It was a question heavy with vulnerability. PK hesitated, taking a sip of his drink before answering. "I think we've been through hell and back. The robberies, the pressures, the cameras, the expectations. And I think somewhere along the way, we lost sight of us. Dorit's lips trembled for the briefest moment before she steadied herself. We did, she whispered, but I don't know if that means we're beyond saving. Public versus private. For years, Dorit and PK's marriage had been played out in the public eye, dissected by fans, critics, and fellow housewives. Every fight, every reconciliation, every Instagram post became fodder for speculation. At times, they had leaned into it, using their on-screen chemistry to bolster storylines. But when real cracks began to show, the public stage made it harder to heal in private. Sitting across from each other now, they weren't Dorit and PK, reality TV stars. They were Dorit and Paul, two people who once promised forever. A glimmer of hope. As dessert arrived, a shared plate of tiramisu that neither seemed hungry for, something shifted. PK reached across the table, his hand brushing against Dorit's. It was tentative, like testing the waters of a long-forgotten pool. She didn't pull away. Instead, she looked at him with an expression that held both hurt and hope. "Whatever happens," she said softly, "I want us to remember that we built a family. That matters more than the cameras, more than the gossip." PK nodded, his throat tightening. "It always will." For a moment, the world outside didn't matter. Not the headlines, not the paparazzi waiting by the valet stand, not the curious diners sneaking glances. In that quiet bubble, there was still a thread connecting them, a fragile, fraying thread, but a thread nonetheless. Leaving the restaurant. When they finally stood to leave, Dorit slipped her clutch under her arm, her face composed but unreadable. PK walked beside her, not behind, not ahead. Together, they stepped into the flashing bulbs of waiting photographers. They didn't hold hands, but they didn't look like enemies either. Just two people navigating a complicated chapter in their lives, one dinner at a time. And while no one could say for certain what the future held, whether they were headed toward reconciliation or an amicable split, one thing was clear. Dorit and PK weren't ready to let their story be reduced to just another Beverly Hills rumor. The bigger picture. The Real Housewives universe thrives on drama. But at its core, it's about relationships between friends, frenemies, and spouses. Dorit and PK's dinner wasn't just a headline. It was a reminder that behind the diamonds, the designer labels, and the Bravo cameras, these are real people facing real struggles. Perhaps fans will see more of this vulnerable side in the next season of RHOBH. Perhaps they won't. But for those who caught a glimpse of them that night, there was something almost poetic about it. Love and pain, history and uncertainty, all playing out over a shared meal in Beverly Hills. Because in the end, even housewives can't script real life.